Hey folks, this is Vincent Adelie with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to play the Lord of the Rings adventure book game. This game supports 1 to 4 players. It's for ages 10 and up, and the average play time is about 20 minutes per chapter. This is our first time attempting the game, so we might get a wrong or two, but as I always say, we're here to spread awareness, have some fun, and show off some really cool games. So based on what I've seen so far, this is a cooperative game where players are trying to get through 8 chapters of this storybook. We've already set it up for chapter 1, and we're trying to get through all 8 chapters before this corruption track reaches all the way to the end. So it's kind of a race. Now, each chapter will vary in how they behave. There's a complete setup over here to the left for each chapter, the particular chapter rules, and then any challenges that we have to complete in order to complete this particular chapter. And this 8-chapter storybook encompasses all of the Lord of the Rings original trilogy movies. So you've got Fellowship of the Ring, which is like The Adventure Begins, the very start of that. You've got Two Towers that will come in at some point, and then finally Return of the King, which is the last of the 3 movies. The general gist of this game is this. Like I said, each chapter has its own challenges that you're trying to complete, and we're going to be using a deck of cards. These are storybook cards. Each player starts with a hand of 4 of these cards, and we're going to be using the symbols on these cards in order to try and complete these challenges in addition to what the challenge is telling us to do. And we'll tell you more about the challenges later on. But we're going to be using cards to try and complete these challenges. We can also discard cards from our hand in order to move the characters around the board more so than they normally could. Now, this doesn't represent all of the pieces in the game. We've got Gimli and Legolas over here, which are not part of Chapter 1. They didn't really come into the movies until later in the Fellowship. Then you've got all these tokens over here. This is not all of them, but there's some of them. Some of these tokens will be used for Chapters 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. So different tokens and different characters will come into play depending on what chapter you're on. Each chapter has a rule card. There is a deck of, numbers here. Numbers 1 through 15. It's kind of like rolling a 15-sided die, but each number can only come up 1 time. And depending on the chapter, different things will happen. It's kind of like the bad guy phase, where you have to draw a bad card, and depending on the number, different things happen. And again, depending on the chapter that you're on, different things will happen depending on the number that is drawn. We are using the Chapter 1 card because that's the chapter that we're currently on. So for example, during the bad guy phase, if I draw a card from that number deck and it's a 1 or 2 or 3, we will move any hobbit to the hiding spot. If it's already occupied, you lose this chapter. We'll get into more on that in a minute. Here's a quick reference card on like the general rules of the game. On a player's turn, they will either move a single character 0, 1, or 2 spaces, or 2 characters 1 space. So they're able to move characters around the board for free at that point in time. Once they move, they will move into their storytelling phase, which is discard a number of cards and move 1 character 1 space per discarded card. So here players can discard cards that they don't want in order to move characters around even more. You can also turn in cards to complete challenges. You can also play any special cards that you might have. And you can also trade a single card with any other player. So that is a possible thing to do. After you're all done with your storytelling, you're going to draw 2 cards from the story deck, but you have to, at the end of your turn, discard down to 6 if you've got more than 6. That plot here is just drawing a card from the number deck and resolving its effects. So that in essence is what a player will do on their turn. We're going to be trying to work together. Our hands are hidden, so we don't know what each other has, but we can sort of communicate. I don't know to what degree, and honestly, we're kind of casual, so we may probably give more information than we're supposed to, but it's just for fun. Here's a quick look at the box insert, in case you're curious about that, and here's a quick look at the rulebook. I believe this is a Target exclusive for right now, so if you're interested in this game, you'd have to pick it up at Target. But yeah, the rulebook isn't that big. It's roughly 8 pages. Most of the detailed stuff is in these sections here. And so we're on Chapter 1. The adventure begins. After receiving a mysterious ring, Frodo leaves the Shire with his friends and heads toward Bree and the unknown. So during setup, we have to find the Chapter 1 plot card, which we already have. And we deal 4 story cards to each player. Shuffle the plot deck, already done. Place Frodo, Samwise, Merry, and Pippin, and Aragorn on their indicated spaces. So Merry is the yellow figurine, which is there. He's got that stein. Then you've got Pippin, and we know it's Pippin because he's got the apple in his hand. And as you know from the first movie, he's always asking about second breakfast and gets an apple thrown at him. That's the reference behind that, I'm assuming anyway. Samwise is the green character. And Bilbo here, or I'm sorry, not Bilbo, Frodo is, there we go, the one with Sting, I believe, the sword.
Where's the lamb miniature?
What do you mean lamb?
The lamb that Mary had. Didn't Mary have a little lamb?
Oh my gosh. Get out. I will do this. This is going to turn from a cooperative game to a solo game in a moment.
Sorry.
Gandalf does not have a figurine, but he does have a token, which is unique to him here. The camera, for whatever reason, doesn't like to focus on him. There we go. So that's Gandalf. And he's got Gandalf the White and Gandalf the Gray, depending on what scenario you're on. You've got these 2 riders here, the black riders. These are the bad guys. Different things will happen if we try to interact with them or if they move on to us, that kind of thing. There is a hiding spot here, and this is one of the lose conditions, which we'll get into in a minute. There's the prancing pony over here, which is where the 4 characters in the movie end up going to, and that's when they run into Aragorn, which is over here. We won't unlock Aragorn until we complete this challenge. Speaking of chapter rules, black riders move clockwise around the black smoke path. It may be hard to see, but there's a black smoke path that runs here. It's just one giant circle, and these tokens will be moving along that black path. Okay,
that's the Black Rider.
The Black Rider, yeah. Yeah, these are the 2 Black Rider tokens, and that's just their starting space there, as indicated there. So Black Riders cannot share a space with or move into another Black Rider space, so we can't double up on those guys. Characters move along white paths, which are these white dotted lines here. And characters move along the white paths in any direction. Hobbits cannot enter or move through a space with a Black Rider, but Aragorn can. So we can never enter a space with a Black Rider with these characters, but once we unlock Aragorn, he can move into that space. Quick, find a place to hide. If a Black Rider lands on or moves through a space with a Hobbit, move that Hobbit to the hiding spot. Okay? You lose this chapter, not the game. You lose this chapter if there is more than one Hobbit in the hiding spot.
Wow.
Or the plot deck runs out of cards. And there's 15 cards. There's like a 15-turn timer there. Okay? You lose the game if this corruption track goes all the way to the full there. Now, if you lose a chapter, this does not advance. However, any progress this has made during the chapter stays where it is. And also any special upgrade cards that we unlock, which are not part of this deck, but this is a special deck, we will be earning more special cards over time. If we had earned any special cards during this attempt and we lose, then we have to return those special cards back to the special deck again. But this corruption does not go up if we fail the chapter. We just try and repeat the chapter and try and win that second time. Okay, so we lose the chapter if 2 hobbits are here at the hiding spot. We do not want 2 hobbits in the hiding spot. Okay. We want to keep this as clear as possible.
Yep.
Okay. Our first challenge is keep it secret, keep it safe. Frodo and Gandalf must be on the hearth, which is here. So we want Gandalf and Frodo to be here, and Samwise must be on the road to the Shire, which is here where Gandalf starts. Okay. If we do that, and we also have to turn in a, I don't have one, but it's this card. There's a card with like an eyeball symbol, the Eye of Sauron. There's a card. If you turn that in and these conditions are met, then you complete it. And as a reward, each player draws one card from the story deck and remove Gandalf from the board. So he's no longer in this particular scenario. That's our first challenge. Once we do that, we move on to this challenge. It comes in pints. All 4 hobbits must be on the orange spaces in Bree. So any combination of these spaces, as long as they are here, all 4 of these guys are here, and we turn in cards with those symbols on them, that will complete that challenge. And then finally, as a reward, draw a card from the special deck. Place Aragorn at the Prancing Pony, which is here. Okay. And then lastly, we do not stop until nightfall. Aragorn, Frodo, Samwise, and at least one other hobbit must be on Weathertop. At least one Black Rider must be on one of the spaces next to Weathertop.
Wow. Okay.
So one must be here or here to complete that. All other challenges must be complete.
So you have to do these two
correct.
first.
You do these first, and then, well, yeah, it makes sense to do this first because these guys need to be here, and then eventually they also need to be over here. So it doesn't make sense for them to backtrack. We should do that first, then this second, and then this last.
Yep.
As a reward, you complete this chapter if you do that. And you also need the horn symbol and 2 sword symbols to complete that as well.
Okay.
We start with a hand of 4 cards. There is an Eye of Sauron deck. Whenever we advance this corruption track, which I'll explain in a minute, and it goes to one of these eyeballs, there's one on the 3, 6, 9, and 12. We draw a card from here and something bad happens. We don't know what it is. So how do you advance this track then? Well, in this deck, among other symbols, there is a 1 ring card. There's more than one in this deck over here. This is a great card, kind of, sort of. You can play this as a wild, so it can be any symbol you want. Okay, so you can complete challenges with this thing. However, if you play it, or if you discard it because you had to get rid of it for some reason, that is when this advances. So it's like a very powerful card, but it comes at a cost. You have to advance corruption. Otherwise, it just clogs up your hand.
That's what it says on the reference card here.
What?
Yeah.
It says what?
On the note, it says whenever you use a 1 ring card to advance the corruption track.
Right there. If you discard a 1 ring card, advance the corruption track. Even if you use it, that's still a bad thing.
The other note says the same thing.
Now, also, in addition to it being a wild card, each chapter has a special 1 ring ability. So you can also use this, not as a wild, but for its special ability.
Cool.
This says move a Black Rider 1 space. So if you really need to move one of these guys because they're not where they need to be, you can sacrifice a corruption, or you can use this card to get a corruption, but then you get to move a Black Rider.
Cool.
Okay. And with that, I think we're ready to try the game and see if we like it.
I'm ready.
I have a feeling I'm already going to like it, but you know.
We'll see.
All right, so would you like to go first?
How about you go first?
Okay, you're a little hesitant.
You're the LOTR fan.
Okay, if you say so. It says move a single character 0 to 2 spaces, or 2 characters 1 space. Well, in that case, he needs to be here and he needs to be here. And okay, so I'm going to go 1 and 2. Okay. And characters can share spaces unless the boards or the rules say that you can't.
So all 4 hobbits can be here.
They have to be. Yeah, they have to be in this orange area. There's this orange Bree.
Yeah. So even if all 4 were just on this spot alone, and we turn in the symbols here, it'll complete because they're in the orange area space. Okay. All right.
Yep. So I moved twice.
Yep.
1 here and 1 here, and now I move on to the storybook section, which is discard any number of cards in order to move 1 character 1 space. So I could, just to move things along, I could try and get Sam up here and him, and I'd have to discard 3 cards to do that.
Oh, Frodo's the blue one?
Yeah, Frodo's the blue one.
Sorry, go ahead.
So what I think I might do, just to like get this challenge done, I can trade 1 card with you. Do you have this symbol?
I do.
Can I trade you this 1 ring card for it? And you can always trade it back to me later if you don't want it, but can I have that so I can complete this challenge on my turn?
When are you going to complete it, though?
Now.
Now?
So here, I get to every card I discard, I can move a character one space.
Okay.
So here, you take this,
Yep.
and I take this.
Now, are we supposed to do that? Like, are we supposed to say...
Anytime during the game. Or anytime on your turn, you can trade.
So even though we don't know each other's hand, you can ask someone,
yes.
do you have this for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go with that. I'm pretty sure. All right. If I'm wrong, again, we're having fun. Hopefully. Okay. So I'm going to discard 3 cards here to move characters 3 different spaces.
Oh, wow.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Sam does not fall off the board. So I just discarded these 3 cards off to the side here. And now these guys are where they need to be. Is where he needs to be. And I've got this card here that I'm going to turn in. It's the symbol that we need to complete this. So in my first turn of the game, I've completed this challenge, which is great. Each player draws 1 card from the story deck. So that's 1 for me and 1 for you. And remove Gandalf from the game. Okay. So Gandalf is now gone. Now we move on to this one.
Challenge.
It comes in pints. All 4 hobbits must be in the orange spaces down here. Yep. And we need that, and that. So 2 green feet and 1 of those Eye of Sauron cards. Yep. And I'm still on my turn, though. But I don't think there's anything left for me to do. I might save this for the last because there is a sword that is needed. So I'm going to save that. And complete challenges, play special cards. No. We've already... Okay, so I guess I'm going to end my storytelling phase and move right to draw. I'm going to draw 2 cards from the story deck. So I've got 3 cards in my hand now. And plot. Draw a plot card from the plot deck and refer to the plot chart. So the number that came up is an 11. So the number 11 is move either Black Rider 2 spaces. So we can pick now, which one do we want to move 2 spaces? Do we want to move this one here, or do we want to move
Could they
this
be in
one?
either direction, or does
the riders always go clockwise.
Interesting.
So we could do something like this, but then that kind of blocks these guys in. Whereas if we did this, then
it'll kind of block. We would have to go around.
That would be rough. We can move through the hiding spot. Ideally, we want to get these guys up here. So maybe we do this, and then we focus on getting these guys over here so that then they can jump down here somehow.
Okay.
We don't want them on, but we do not want to end a turn on a hiding spot.
Yes.
Because there is a number card, I think. 1 through 3. Move any hobbit to the hiding spot. If it's already occupied, you lose the chapter.
But they only go to the hiding spot if a Black Rider goes on them, right?
Or we draw that number card. There's a number card that moves them there. So long story short, we do not want to end our turn with a hobbit in a hiding spot. Okay. Because we could just insta-fail if we do that. So I drew my cards, and I think that's it.
Okay. You have more than 6 cards?
Well, I did not. Okay. I have 3.
All right.
So it is now your turn. So you're going to move someone 2 spaces, or 2 characters 1. Keep in mind you can discard cards in order to move them as well.
Yes. I will do something pretty simple.
I mean, you could go 1, 2, and then discard a card to move 1 here, or maybe here to get them into the Prancing Pony on my next turn. That might be something to think about.
I was thinking of just moving this red one, 1, 2, and then discard so that he can be right here.
Discard 2 cards?
2 cards and a third one to move the yellow one up here.
That's a thought. Now, keep in mind, if we have to move this one 2 spaces, he'll hit Pippin here.
True.
So we have to be careful, because he can't move 2 now because this one's here. So if
they don't jump over each other?
No.
Ooh.
So if you're going to do discard 3 cards, I would go 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
If it were me.
Alright. It just stinks because it's like a waste of a movement, or a waste of an action or something.
Well, it safeguards them while we... Unless you want to bring Frodo and Sam here and prep for them to move that way, it's up to you.
No, I want to get... Well... So the characters can go on top of each other?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So first you're going to move a character 2 spaces, or one character, or two characters, one space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to, I kind of want to risk it. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2.
I would not move them here, though, because if we draw a card that moves a Black Rider 2 spaces,
how common are they?
I don't... 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there's 6 cards. There's 5 left in this deck. There's a 1 in 3 chance that it'll happen. He'll move back here. You would have wasted 2 cards because he'd be back here again. I would not do it.
All right.
I'm just saying, let's not be crazy here.
All right. Fine. Crazy is my middle name. Okay, then how about this? 1, 2, right?
Uh-huh. And now you're on your storybook part, where you've got your cards now.
Yeah. And I'll discard 3.
3 cards?
Yeah, 3 cards to move him.
If you discard the 1 ring, then that corruption goes up. You don't want to discard the 1 ring card.
Fine.
Are you serious?
But we need to move the Black Rider, don't we?
What are you talking about?
These guys have to be next to the weather top.
But that's not right now.
No,
later.
I know.
We'll get there when we get there.
All right,
Our first goal is to get these guys here.
I know.
And avoid these guys in the meantime.
Yeah.
If you discard the 1 ring, this goes up to 1. And that carries from chapter to chapter.
Yeah.
We want to keep this 0.
All right, fine. Gosh,
what are you trying to do?
I'm just trying to live dangerously.
Are you freaking Sauron? Like, seriously? Like, what are you doing?
Fine. 1, 2. I'll discard 2. No, I can't do that, because if I do that,
you would end up here, and you'd risk getting.
All right, fine. How about 1, 1?
That's fine. Okay.
And
if you want to discard cards to bring these guys down, or discard cards to move one of these 2 here so that they can just jump down here and debris.
I'll discard 2 and go 1 and 2.
Okay.
It's weird that they can be on 1.
That's how
it's confusing me a little bit, because
how is it confusing?
Because the Black Riders are not supposed to do that, but the characters are okay doing that. But these little things look like they're only fit for 1 character, so it's kind of confusing.
It's in the rules right here.
Okay.
I mentioned that characters can go on top of each other unless specified in the rules.
I know.
It specifies it in the rules here that riders cannot do that.
Okay. It's gonna take a little bit of getting used to.
Okay. What else do you want to trade? Do you need a card for anything? Is there anything special that you're trying to do on this turn?
Do you have all the things for this?
I have 1 of them.
I have 2.
Do you want me to give you... do you need a feat? Do you need a feat? All right, so here, take the green feat, and I'll take the 1 ring.
Okay.
So you have all the icons for this?
Yep.
Okay. All right, that'll work for us. And I think that's it, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so you're going to draw 2 cards.
I'm so hesitant to answer those questions because I don't know what to ask if we're not supposed to know each other's.
I think you're overthinking. Let's just have fun.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to play by the rules.
Your rules are wrong.
No.
If you really want to look, here, while I'm taking my turn, look through that and
Draw a card from the plot deck now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
A 10.
Ooh.
Yeah, we would have taken a hit there.
So he's moving?
It says number 10 is move either Black Rider 2 spaces.
Wow.
So we can't move this one because they can't be on top of each other. Okay. So this one has to move 1, 2.
All right, good call on your part, I guess.
I'm sorry for being smart and intelligent. I apologize. I will try to be less thinky in the future. Okay, great. We did that, and now you have to discard down to 6, but I don't think
have 5.
You have 5 cards. Okay. All right. So I get to take my turn. I will move some hobbits. Let's see. I'm gonna go. I need to clear some space here so that okay. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, and I think I'm gonna discard. I'd hate to discard that one. I don't have very many cards left, so I guess I'm just gonna stick with that. I mean, there's not a whole lot I can do. Play any special cards, trade a card with another player. Is there any cards you don't want? I can give you the 1 ring card back, and then I can move a character 2 times. Maybe move Mary over here. So
sure. Maybe this one then?
As long as you're not needing it. Well, I would not do that one because we need those swords for later.
Well,
is there one that you...
This is the only other one.
Well, we need that as well.
I know.
Well, in that case, maybe I shouldn't. All right, untrade. I'll keep the 1 ring. You can keep that. I guess I just won't move anyone else this turn. Because I want to keep those swords for this, and that horn for that, and then the feet and that.
But I have to turn in before I discard, right? So wouldn't it be kind of worth it to move as fast as possible, even if you have to discard the next ones?
I suppose. All right.
But I don't know.
So, I mean, I've got 3 cards, so there's no risk of me going over my hand limit. Play special cards, trade. Yeah. So there's not much for me to do. All right, maybe I'll just end there.
I'm going to have to discard these anyways. So wouldn't you want to discard, like if we trade to discard to move?
I don't need to discard anything right now. I've got 3. Bless you.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm just going to draw 2.
Okay.
1, 2. And then a plot card. It's a 13.
Okay.
So that means move both black riders 2 spaces. 1, 2, and 1, 2. All right, so that's where they're standing right now, which is Mary's in danger of getting whacked, so we got to be careful there.
Yep.
We need to get them down here.
Yep.
Which I'm not happy about. And then finally, on our turn, discard down to 6. It is your turn.
Okay.
Did you not find anything?
No, I didn't.
I'll take the rulebook.
All right, now you can look.
So you have to move a hobbit.
Yep.
2 spaces, or...
I'll go... Let's go 1, 2. I moved Mary down here. I'm going to discard 2 of them. 2 cards. And I will do 1 and 2. There.
Getting them out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is it.
All right.
And now
You draw 2 cards.
Draw 2 cards.
Yep.
Okay.
And a new card. 9.
What is 9?
Move either black rider 2 spaces.
Okay. Maybe this one instead?
Yeah. I'm just gonna have to move these guys.
No, they can't go over black riders, right?
This is their starting space.
I know, but if this one moved 1, 2, these guys are stuck here because there's no path, right?
Well, they'd have to go. Oh yeah, they'd be stuck there.
Yeah, so we have to move this
Yeah,
guy.
I'd move this one.
Okay.
And we have to move these guys down. This way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I gave you 2 cards, and we drew a plot card, and you have to discard down if you...
I do not have to discard.
So the first thing I'm going to do, I need to get these guys... I'm worried about Mary here.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to do 1, 2.
Okay.
And get them out of there. And I guess we'll come in this way. And then I guess I need to get these guys up there as quickly as possible. I'm going to have to do, okay, so I've got 1, 2. I'm going to discard 2 cards so far to do 1, 2. And I want to discard 1 more card to get them out of there. So I'm going to get rid of, do you have the Eye of Sauron card in your hand?
I do.
All right, so I'm going to get rid of mine and move him 1 more space. So that all 3 of them are on this here. And I'm down to 2 cards, one of which is a 1 ring that I can't play.
Is there a card that automatically moves a hobbit to the hiding spot?
Yes.
Okay.
1 through 3 on here.
Okay, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's possible that we might get lucky and draw that and move him down automatically. Mm-hmm. But that's all I'm going to do. And then I draw 2 cards, 1, 2. Mm-hmm. And a new card comes out. It is a 2. So that means that move any hobbit to the hiding spot. If it's already occupied, you lose the chapter.
The green one.
So we'll send Sam down there to the hiding spot.
Okay.
And I think, I have 5 cards, so I do not have to discard, or 4 cards rather. And it is now your turn. So you're going to move hobbit twice.
Okay.
Or whatever. We want to get him out of there for sure.
1, 2.
Okay.
It's going to land there. I'm going to discard.
We need to get them at least to this spot. If we can just get them here, then we can make a break for it up there to the weather top. We don't even have to get them down here. We just need to get them to the Bree area.
Yeah. I'll discard 1.
Okay.
Do you have a card I can trade, actually?
Or
no?
Do you have a 1 ring?
I have a 1 ring, yeah.
All right. I can give you a sword.
Okay, so I'll move 2.
So,
I'll discard 2 to move 1.
And then maybe one of these hobbits here in preparation to move up. We just need to move 5 more times to get them all to that spot.
Yep.
But now we also need to make sure we've got this.
Mm-hmm. And I draw 2 cards.
Are you done?
Yep.
Okay, so 1, 2. Mm-hmm. And new plot. It's a 1. That means we have to move one of these guys back to the hiding spot.
The blue one, yeah. There you go. It's a little trail. That's not bad.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to have to move... I don't have a whole lot of cards, unfortunately.
That's okay. I have 2.
So I'm going to go 1, 2. And I'm going to discard... I have 2 of these. I'd hate to discard them.
On my next turn, I can complete the second mission on my turn.
All right. We're going to have to rush Weathertop then. So I'm going to have to discard... I hate discarding these 2 cards, but I feel like we need to get them over there.
I can do that on my turn.
I know, but... okay. You can... So you can move...
I can completely do it on my own
So you can discard... Because you're going to move 1, 2, and then you need to discard 2 cards. Mm-hmm. And you've got 3 more cards to turn... Okay, all right. So I'm not going to do anything then. I'll leave it. My only concern is what if we draw 3, but we'll find out. I'm going to draw 2 cards to end my turn. We draw a plot card. It is a 15.
Okay.
15 is move both black riders 2 spaces. So 1, 2, and 1, 2.
Would it be kind of cheesing or cheating if we try to move this one first, but it couldn't, so it stayed?
It's not how that works.
Okay.
Nice try.
All
right, so we get to move a hobbit 2 or each hobbit 1.
Okay. I'll do...
Doesn't matter. If you're planning
1, 2.
Uh-huh.
And then I will discard 2 to move 1, 2. And then I will turn these in to complete this challenge.
All right, so it says all 4 hobbits must be on the orange spaces in Bree. Draw a card. So we turned in the things that we needed, which is great. And then draw a card from the special deck. So here's a special card. Place Aragorn in the Prancing Pony. Aragorn.
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 Sorry, I'll call Legoland.
Legoland. Okay. That's it. So we need to rush these guys up here before they come back around. Otherwise, we're in trouble. Okay, so you get to draw. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
I don't know what this means.
All right. Well, it's for the purposes of... Okay, Arwen's Love. Complete a challenge using 1 or more 1 ring cards without advancing the corruption track. Okay. So you know how I said that 1 ring cards can be wild?
Yeah.
Right? To complete challenges.
Yeah.
When you play this, you can also turn in these to complete challenges and they not advance the corruption. So, for example, we need 2 swords and a horn, right? If I had this card, I could play it. Use these 2 1 rings for the symbols that we need.
Okay.
And this, and not move up 2 on the track.
So that negates.
That negates the penalty of using a one ring for completing challenges. Complete a challenge using one or more one ring cards.
Okay.
So when you play this, you want to play as many rings as possible so that you can get them as wilds and still move up the track.
I see. I thought it was like it's a challenge in itself to use the ring without advancing. I'm like, how the heck do you do that? No. All right. So can we trade these?
I don't see why not. They're story cards. So yeah, I mean, if you want, I can start. So I can give you this if you want.
Not yet, because we have to do it first, and I don't want you discarding down because you have a lot of cards, right?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll do this. Like we'll get to there first.
Okay. So you completed that. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn? I mean, you can't.
I don't think I can. Yeah.
Okay. So,
unless I trade this with you,
and then use that one card to move one
as a movement.
That's what I was suggesting.
Sorry.
So I'll take your special card, assuming I can do that. I don't see why you can't trade special cards.
Yeah. Rule time.
Rule time. It says, any player use a one ring, complete discard number of cards, trade. Oh, yeah, one card in your hand with one card from any other player. It doesn't say anything about not being able to trade special cards. So, I'm just going to assume that we can trade them as well. Okay. So...
And I will use this
the green feet card that I just gave you to move... Aragorn can move through Black Riders, so I'm thinking we get the hobbits, we rush them there as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I agree. Aragorn, Frodo, Samwise, and 3. So 3 of them.
We need 8 movement.
Frodo, Sam, and at least 1. Okay, so I'll move Frodo up here.
Okay, with that one.
With this.
We can always, instead of moving one of them up here, we can move one of them. But we can leave them there and let them get hit and come back here and then just move them later.
Yeah, but if they get hit and then we draw that card, that makes another.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Well, it's not possible because the card that moves a hobbit here is not a card that also moves Black Riders. You'll see later.
Okay.
All right. So you did what now? Where are we at?
Oh, it's your turn now. I have to draw. No, you
have to draw 2 cards from the deck because you didn't do that yet.
Okay, I thought I did.
And then we have to draw a plot card. It's a 6. And 6 is move both Black Riders 1 space.
Okay.
Not liking that. Okay. So I have to. I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna go 1, and then 2, and then I'm going to discard.
Want to trade? That way you can use it as movement.
I don't have anything to trade, to be honest with you. It's fine. I'll just. How many cards do you have? 2? Yeah, it's not worth it. I'm gonna get rid of. I have enough to complete this.
You just need them there.
Yeah, so I have an extra one I'm not going to use. So I'm going to just get rid of this one and move that one up by 1. And all we need to do is get one of them here and then move Aragorn through the Black Riders, and then we'll just keep an eye on the extra one that hasn't made it to Weathertop. Okay, so that's my turn.
Okay.
I draw 2 cards. 1, 2. I'm going to draw from the plot deck. It is a 4. Move either Black Rider 1 space. We'll do that.
Yep. Okay.
And there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards left.
So if that runs out,
we lose the chapter.
Wow,
correct.
Nasty. Okay.
So we're on a timer in addition to whatever the lose conditions are.
Okay.
So it is your turn. Okay. And all we need to do, so you can just move 1 up there.
1, 2.
Right. And now we just need to get Aragorn up there for 3.
Hold on.
You want to move.
2.
You want to move Sam.
Yeah,
instead
because
of Mary.
we need him there.
It doesn't matter. Oh, I see. Yeah, Frodo, Samwise, and at least one other Hobbit must be on Weathertop.
Yeah.
At least one Black Rider must be in one of these spaces. All other challenges complete.
Yep.
Okay.
And then so I moved Sam there.
Yeah. So if you can discard 3 cards and get Aragorn,
I only have 2.
That's fine because I'm going to move him 2 anyway on the following turn.
So 1, 2.
Well, no. What I mean is you can.
2.
It's up to you. Do you want to just discard all 2?
Do the cards carry over from chapter to chapter?
No.
Okay.
Only the special cards do.
Then that's fine.
All right. So, yeah, you're out of cards, and there's nothing to do, so I'm going to give you 2 cards. 1, 2. And
then a plot card.
Plot card. It's a 12, and 12 is move either black rider 2 spaces. So we're going to go, it has to be this one, because it's in front. 1, 2. Again, Aragorn can move through here without a problem, but we've satisfied that condition, which is great, because on my turn, all I have to do is move Aragorn 1 space.
Yep. And
we have that condition met. We have a black rider connected here, which is great. And we have to turn in those cards. So I'm going to play Arwen's Love with these 2 wilds and 1 red, which is what we need. So these are 2 swords, these 1 ring cards. And Arwen's Love will prevent the corruption, which is great. So I'm just going to discard all these cards, and that will complete the chapter. That's it. And because we won the chapter and we earned a special card, this will now stay with us for the rest of the chapters. So it's going to be dealt back into the deck for chapter 2, and if we just happen to get it, then great. Okay. Then we'll be able to use it.
Okay. We need 5 more of those.
We need, yes. So with regards to the other ones in this game, so there's a quick look ahead as to what other upgrade cards there are. Bilbo's Journal. During the draw phase, you may choose 2 cards from the discard pile instead of drawing from the story deck. So if you need a particular symbol from the discard pile, you can use this card to do it. Shadowfax. You may move 1 character miniature up to 3 spaces. So it just allows someone to get extra movement. Mirror of Galadriel. Look at the top card of the plot deck. You may put it on the bottom of the deck. So if you don't like the number that's going to come up, you can move it to the bottom. Galadriel's Hair. Draw 3 cards from the story deck. Discard 1 from your hand. If you discard a 1 ring card, do not advance the corruption track. So draw 3, discard 1. And if you discard a 1 ring card, then you don't have to advance corruption.
Is it hair or air?
Hair.
What?
Do you not pay attention? I watched this movie 3 times, and you were sitting there in the background. In the movie, she gave Gimli 3 locks off of the top of her golden head.
Okay.
Because Gimli was, kind of infatuated with her. Oh. So as what can I give you kind of thing, because she gave daggers to... Anyway, I'm not going to get into this.
I vaguely remember, but...
Great Eagle. Move each character miniature up to 1 space each. Wisdom of Elrond.
Matrix guy.
Yes, the Matrix guy. Choose Neo, and then move him... No, I'm kidding. Choose a player to draw 2 cards from the story deck. So let's just draw more cards. And I think that repeats... Oh, Elven Cloaks. Do not draw a plot card this turn. Okay. So those are some other ones. So that's a quick look ahead as to what other upgrade cards are in that particular deck. We've already unlocked 1 of them. But now, in theory, what's going to happen is this will clear off. All of these clear off because we've completed the chapter. And if we had progressed this, it would stay where it is. And then we would move on to...
the next chapter.
Chapter 2.
Whoa.
Which is the Fellowship Forged.
Oh, Stark. Edward Stark, sorry.
Yes, Stark. Sean Bean, yes. So, yeah, Boromir, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is the part of the story where, they're all gathered around in, I don't remember the Elven city. It might be here. Rivendell, thank you. And they were discussing on what to do with the ring. Will you stop laughing at me?
I'm not laughing.
You are laughing at me.
I am not.
Anyway, that's chapter 2, and we'll do that in a separate video, assuming there's any interest. But what did you think so far? Are you enjoying this?
I liked it. I really do. I'm not a big LOTR fan, but I like the game. I like the flow of the game. The story is, decent. So that's fine.
I'm enjoying it as well. I'm not crazy about the 15 turn timer with these number cards. If it were me to be more casual, I would like if you go through the deck once, reshuffle it and do it again.
I would do that actually.
Just to have so that just because yes, I get it. We're trying to be as efficient as possible, but what if luck for whatever reason isn't on your side? Then you have to replay a chapter. I would totally as an easy mode do what you said. Discard when this entire deck runs out, reshuffle. And then 1 more time. That way you've got 13 rounds instead of just...
Yeah. With a game like this, I feel like timed is really not that good because you just kind of want to get into the story and delve with strategic like movement places. And to have it timed, it's kind of like, well, that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of, yeah. I mean, I can understand some, like, eventually the players would beat the scenario because, like, that's really the only time limit. But some scenarios like this one, Elrond reaches the end of his path. So I think Elrond starts here. And if he gets all the way around here, according to this, you lose. So, like, there's still a timer in addition to these plot cards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really like this. And I love that the upgrade cards that you earn carry with you over to the next
That's cool.
scenario.
I want 5 more copies of each upgrade card.
What you could do, again, make it easier, you could, whenever you're prompted to get a special card, draw 2 of them. That way you're introducing more special cards into your deck. The only downside is that might clutter up your hand to the point where you're not drawing the symbols you need.
True. I would increase my hand size to 16.
To 16. I think now we're into baby mode. But
baby mode.
Baby mode.
Exploration mode.
Yeah, exploration mode.
Sandbox creative.
Yes. There's the Mines of Moria.
Okay.
There's the Fellowship Splits.
I feel so bad. Like, none of these are familiar to me.
We're going to watch the entire trilogy later.
No. God.
Last March of the Ents. That's 2 towers.
Sure.
And you should know this part.
Which one?
The Fellowship Splits.
Why?
Because when Sam and Frodo went off on their own and Sam was drowning in the water and Frodo picked...
that scene?
Yeah, that's the end.
The one that you showed me 5 times.
You only saw it 5 times because you turned around wondering what I was watching. Yeah. Anyway, Last March of the Ents, that's 2 towers. Battle of Helm's Deep.
Okay.
That's
also... the one with the crazy man, right?
No, that's Theoden and... this is 2 towers still.
Look, it's Walter.
That isn't Walter. That is not Walter. No. Walter was Boromir's father.
Yeah. I thought
that's not him. Theoden is different. He's a completely different person.
Oh, it looks like him.
It's not him.
It's the woman's father, right? The woman's father. The one at the end when she almost had her head chopped off.
That's not her father.
I thought it was.
No.
Why was
she was in Theoden's family.
Oh.
You know, Carl Urban, his character. They were brother and sister.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, Shelob's Lair with the spider.
The spider, that one I remember because it was gross.
Yes. And then the final battle at the end.
Okay, I remember that one.
Yeah.
The one where the volcano exploded and really should have killed Sam and Frodo, but that's ridiculous if they didn't die, but okay.
All right, well, there you go. So, that was great. I love your positive feelings on this. I love it.
I like the game. I really do like the game. It's fun.
All right. Well, I liked it, and I would continue playing it, just not now.
Yeah, I would too.
So, if you want to keep track of your progress, like if you have to put the game away, all you do is keep note of your corruption track, so that when you set up the game next time, you know where you're supposed to leave off. Also, make a note of any special cards that you have in your deck, so that you can add them before your game picks up where you left off.
Yes, I can't make a heart with these cards.
Why would you?
Because it's Sean Bean. Are you kidding me?
All right. So that was Lord of the Rings adventure book game. I like it. Yes. Definitely. I love it. It's great for solo and co-op. And I do believe there's a solo mode in here where rather than... I guess you could two-hand it, meaning you control 2 hands separately. That's not in the rulebook, but you could.
Yeah.
The other solo mode is there's a hand of cards that are out on the table that is like a supply. Okay. And you can trade with that supply on your turn.
Should we show off the bad things that could happen?
Would you like to?
I don't know. Maybe.
Or do you want to keep it a secret?
People might be curious. I have no idea.
All right. Well, here's one of them. Corruption. Choose one special card from the story deck or discard pile and remove it from the game. Ooh. Then reshuffle the story deck and discard piles together. Okay. So, yeah. Some of these are really nasty.
Wow.
I don't want to spoil too much.
Yeah, no.
So... Lord of the Rings adventure book game. This is Vincent Adeli. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you all next time. Take care.
Bye, guys.